destroyed. And your wayfinder, too.
Now I kind of miss the lava monster. Ow! Ow!
How's it going up there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a newer film that came out in November. And is a sequel to a Disney film that came out a few years ago. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and any other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as X, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X. Pretty much post on these regularly, so definitely check them out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film from Disney that is a sequel to a Disney film that came out a few years back called Moana 2. Yeah! Moana 2. Yeah! Moana 2. Yeah! So Moana 2, the sequel to Moana, that came out, like I said, a few years ago, is a fully CGI animated film from Disney Pictures, and it is not part of Pixar, just so people don't get that mixed up with Pixar. And this is actually just one of those films that you're like, I'm not too sure. It's been quite a while since the sequel, since the first film came out. And, with the state of how Disney was in, we're not sure how good it was going to be. Because I've seen over the course of the last 4 years or so, I feel a lot of, films by Disney haven't been well received by a lot of the audience. And so I wasn't too sure about that myself going into this film, because I really enjoyed the first film, and so I was hoping that this one would be along the same lines. And you know what? It ended up being that way. I was actually really surprised. It was really good, really entertaining, and had a lot of great visuals, a lot of great music, a lot of great just dialogue, and the humor just got even better and better with this film. And I loved where they took the story, and it just was really enjoyable. Now, if you're not familiar with, the Moana series or Moana character or anything like that, it's a really interesting, definitely, character that is really fun because you get to understand a lot of history about Polynesia and stuff like that, which I thought was really entertaining. And I really enjoyed that they bring in kind of the God's world and stuff like that into it and kind of, what they believe over in Polynesia. And I really enjoy that, how they bring that to the screen in animated form, and it just is really cool. And you get to see all kind of cool magical stuff and stuff like that. And, they really did that well with the first Moana, and I think they did that even better with the second one here. And I really enjoyed just all those great elements that really brought it to life and gave us really a lot of fun. Now, this film happens to be directed by actually a group of people this time around. A few of them, this is their directorial debut. The other has done a few other things over the years, but this is definitely, kind of a almost first run directorial debut, I feel, for, majority of the people that worked on it. And then, of course, are the directors known as... Ready for it? Ready? David Derrick Jr., Jason Hand, and Danny Miller. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so David Derrick Jr., Jason Hand, and Danny Miller. Yeah. So the two latter guys are, this is supposedly their directorial debut. The other gentleman he's worked on other things, but really hasn't been like the number one director on a film really until this one. So basically, like I said, this is pretty much their directorial debut on this film, and I think they did a really good job. I was actually really impressed with what they brought to the film and what they gave us, because they gave us, like I said, very entertaining, no slow parts, very active through the whole entire film. You're always getting something great comedy, great animation, great songs, and just great storyline that flew very well throughout the whole entire film. And I thought that these guys did a great job of giving us a really well constructed film. And also one of the things, I noticed is that, this film wasn't really, if you think about it, talked about much until 6 months before it was really supposed to come out. So that in its end, I think, is really cool because it really, I think, helped deliver the film and give us really no high expectations for it and made it even better. And I think that these guys really delivered what we really didn't know about. And I really enjoyed that about Moana 2, and that these guys really gave us this really sophisticated, interesting story that really expanded well off of the original film. And of course, keeping elements from the original film that they expand on too, I thought they did a really good job with. And the screenwriting for this film was just really done well. I really enjoyed what they were able to construct from that screenplay, from what they, was given to them. And I also enjoyed just, they kept it really on point the whole entire film. They got right into it. They didn't lollygag or anything like that. They actually kept it, like I said, really great flow throughout the whole entire film. And I think that's a really good sign of some good directors. And I think that these guys did a really phenomenal job giving us this really well done sequel that I think actually surpasses the first film. And I really enjoyed all the great voiceovers that they, got out of all the actors from this film and actresses and stuff like that. And they just really brought a really great sense to giving us Disney again. And that's what I felt that these directors did. It felt like a Disney film again, and it was really fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen anything that, David, Jason, or Danny has directed, definitely check out Moana 2 for the directing. They did a really great job. So this movie, once again, has a great all-star cast, giving voiceovers to the film, giving us these really great, rich characters that are very interesting, very fun, very energetic, very just fun to watch. And, we have few people returning from the first film. We have some new people entering in the picture into this film. But all of them always bring such a great fun to these characters, and I just don't see anybody else playing these characters as well as they did. And once again, they brought their fun to, this great sequel that was really enjoyable. So to start us off is none other than Moana herself, Miss Alila Cabello! Yeah, Alila! Woo, Alila! So I probably said that wrong, so I'm very sorry if I said that wrong. But it looks like Aaliyah to me, or Aluba, or something like that. But anyways, I think, Miss Caballero did a great job voicing her character once again. She brought that same funness that she did in the first film, and she just did a really great job of giving us even more of, the character in this film. I liked where she took it. I liked how she was more mature. I liked how she really expanded on kind of her musical skills in the film too, with several songs that she sang. And I also thought that she did a great job of giving us a really different Moana than the first film as well, because as we explained, this is supposed to be a few years later after the first film has supposedly happened. And I like that, she's matured and she's, her attitude has changed with, becoming a wave rider and stuff like this. And I think that she did a great job of, giving evolution to her character. And I think overall she did a great job of giving us a different but yet more fun voiceover that just really expanded on what we already had from the first film. She did a really fantastic job, I thought. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Miss Caballero has been in, you definitely check out, the original Moana for her voiceover. I think it's the best thing I've seen of hers. I haven't really seen anything else she's been in other than the first Moana, and I thought she did a great job in that too. Her singing voice was amazing the first film as well. I really enjoyed what she brought to her character of Moana, and I just thought that overall she did a really good job of, giving us a great idea of, of the culture of, the Polynesian people. And I really enjoyed that. And I thought that was really cool that, she gave her voice and gave the, that wonderful kind of history lesson, as I like to call it. And I think that she provided a really great voice that really brought Moana to life onto the screen, and you just kind of fall in love with the character and you enjoy the character, and you feel like, oh, she is Moana. I feel like she is that character because she did so well of, using the voice talent she has and her voice and really bringing Moana to life. And I thought she just did a great job in the first Moana. So if you haven't seen the first Moana, definitely check it out for Miss Caballero. performance, she did a really fantastic job. But overall, I think that she did an even better job in the sequel. I thought she was so fantastic, and just overall, I think she did a great job giving us a really fun sequel. If you haven't seen Alila in anything recently, check her out in Moana 2 in theaters still. It's worth the watch, and it's definitely worth her voice performance. So that brings me to the next actor I'd like to talk about that was in this film that provides a great voice in this film. And that, of course, is of Mr. Maui himself, Mr. Dwayne Johnson. Oh, yeah, Dwayne Johnson. Woo, Dwayne Johnson, yeah. So Dwayne Johnson, of course, a.k.a. The Rock as well, is a great actor. I absolutely love the guy. He's just always fun to watch. I loved his wrestling persona. I've liked him in a whole bunch of things over the years. The Rundown, The Tooth Fairy, Game Plans, Race to Witch Mountain, and stuff like that. He's done some really great films, Gridiron Gang, stuff like that. And he has really, come to his own as an actor, and he's really fun to watch. And I think that he has a lot of great funness. I love his comedy. I love his action. I love him as like more of a serious actor too as well. And I think he does good in pretty much all the different parts, and I think he's really good at that. And I absolutely love what he brings to the character of Maui. And he's just absolutely freaking hilarious as a character. It's very The Rock persona. It's definitely much like him himself, that he acts as like his wrestling persona and stuff like that, and it just absolutely is fun. And I just love what he brought to the character and how he also evolved into this film and how he changed and how he became more about others than just himself, and I should think that's really great. And I just loved what The Rock did with that and how he progressed with Maui and how he changed him and gave him a little bit more of a great comedic timing and stuff like that along with the character, which he had in the first film, but I think that he did an even better job in this one, giving us even more with, his great comedy elements of Maui, and just really made a fun character that was just even more enjoyable in the second time out. And I like that he was like very almost fatherly like figure in this one versus how he was in the first one. And I think that was a great little brought to life by The Rock, and I thought he did a good job of giving us a little bit of a different edge with Maui, and just the voiceover just worked really well, and it really delivered, and it gave it even more of a performance to Maui, and I just thought he did a really fantastic job. Now, if you haven't seen anything else The Rock has been in, or Dwayne the Johnson, a great movie to check out of his that I absolutely love, and I think is one of his best comedic roles to date, is a great film that came out in 2016 called Central Intelligence. Yeah! Central Intelligence. Yeah! Central Intelligence is such a freaking great movie. Him and Kevin Hart, along with other great actors and actresses in that film, is just absolutely freaking hilarious. And Dwayne Johnson is absolutely freaking on point as his character of Robbie Weirdick. And he is freaking hilarious as this character. He plays such a great nerd type of character that I would have never guessed he could play as well as he did. And he was on point with his characterization. It was so freaking funny. And everything he brought to the character was just so hilarious and fun and just off the wall, just so well orchestrated and acted by him, and just it worked and bounced off Kevin Hart so well, and they worked so well together, and it just was a really amazing performance. I mean, some of the lines he comes up with, and he's like, "You into corns?" It was absolutely freaking hilarious, and it was just like, I had never seen such a great comedic element from The Rock before, and he just really blew me away with that performance. It just was so freaking awesome. If you haven't seen Central Intelligence for Dwayne The Rock Johnson, definitely check it out. It is such a great performance and just really shows how great of a comedian The Rock is. Overall, I really enjoyed him in Moana 2. I loved his, evolution of Maui, and I just thought he really brought a great presence to the character again, and I thought his songs were on point in this one too, and just really fun. If you haven't seen Dwayne Johnson in anything recently, go check him out in Moana 2. He was absolutely superb. So that brings me to the final actor I'd like to check out that provided a voice in this film, and that is none other than Mr. David Fane! Oh yeah, David Fane! Woo, David Fane! Yeah! David Fane, I absolutely love the guy. I think he's such a great voiceover character. I think he's just a great actor, and he always usually plays fatherly figures. And once again, he plays a father figure in this film as well. But he is just so freaking awesome, and I always enjoy everything he brings to life and how he brings things. And just everything he does is always gold, I feel. And you just always enjoy him. You always like his character. You always think he's just a fantastic kind of, side character type of characters. And I just really enjoy what David brought to his character in this film. And I enjoyed his voiceover, and I thought that it brought a great, fatherly presence as well as a great, mature, thinking person type of element as well. And I enjoyed everything about the character. So the fact that David just has one of those kind of auras about him that you're just like, I know I'm going to like this guy. I just have a feeling he's just a fun person. And that's what he brings to his voiceover in this film. Because I love also the evolution of his character in the film. I enjoy, from beginning to end, how he really brings it to life. But at the same time, I enjoy that, David has a really great sense of who the character was as well. And I think he brings that to life through his voiceover in this film. Now, if you haven't seen anything else David has been in, a great film to check out of his that's actually pretty fun. It's a decent film, and I really enjoyed watching it when I did. It's a great film called Next Goal Wins. Yeah! Next Goal Wins. Yeah! Taika Waititi film. And once again, another, about, American Samoa and, about Polynesians and stuff like that, which I thought was a really fun film as well. And I just love what David brought to his character in that film. He was super fun, super enjoyable. And throughout the entire film, he just was super hilarious. I loved every aspect of what he brought to the character. And he just was one of those characters you're just kind of like, he's kind of off in the background, but at the same time, he's front and center. And he just really, every time he popped up, you're just like, David! Because he was just so freaking funny and so fun, and he brought this real fun kindness to his character, and this really kind of once again, kind of fatherly figure that was giving advice and stuff like that, and I enjoyed that, and I thought David just did a really good job with his character in that film. If you haven't seen David in anything, definitely check him out in Next Goal Wins. He did a really superb job in that. But overall, I really enjoyed him in Moana. I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed what he brought to the screen, and I thought he did a great job of providing his voice. If you haven't seen David in anything, definitely check him out in Moana 2 in theaters still. Worth the watch. So, what is Moana 2 about? Basically, the premise of the story is Moana once again has to save her people by basically going to the end of the line, to find this sunken city that will allow the lines of the ancestors to all flow again, basically. And it's up to her to save this so that basically her people don't go extinct. And along the way, she needs Maui's help to get this done. And basically it's about their adventure and kind of where it leads them to and kind of the new people that they discover and become one giant family again. It's really done well. Like I said, I was really impressed with it. It was so fun. The music was great. The story was great. The animation was superb. The whole concept was fun and just really enriches you and gives you fun and gives you this great image of just family again, and gave you that Disney feel that we all loved, from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, that just what felt like Disney, and it just was so enjoyable to feel that again, and come out of the film feeling super fun again, and just feeling that old great nostalgia of Disney classics. If you haven't seen Moana 2 yet, highly recommend you go check it out in theaters now. It is really worth a watch. Really great film. I have to give this one giant 10 golden movie boxes up. I just really enjoyed it. Can't wait to add to the collection. It just was a really superb film and felt like Disney was coming back to its roots. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out now. Worth a watch. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here or you have been before, don't forget to check out any other new movies you haven't seen them out yet. As always, people, if you want to show support for the channel, please check out my awesome Patreon page, where you get all kinds of extra accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. Also, huge shout out to my followers, my subscribers. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. All the new and old, thank you very much. And keep on subscribing, people. Keep on enjoying. And I always appreciate you guys. You guys rock. As always, catch you in the next one.